Awesome. Big round of applause for these wonderful, wonderful filmmakers. I'm still processing all the films in my head, and it's such an incredible, diverse, and different array of projects and genres, and it's so unbelievable to see that all of this talent is just lying here in the state of Texas. So I think for me, the first question I wanted to ask each and every one of you is if you can tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind making these films and the inspiration or the seed or the genesis for telling these incredible stories.
So this is my fourth project, and I made most of them are crowd pleasers, easygoing films. My wife asked me to do something real. So that's so then I always hear these conversations about couples separating, and we all take sides of who we know, right? So I thought let's show two people who we all don't know, and then I wanted to try to see if audience how they react to it when they don't know which part, which side to take.
Hello guys, I'm not the director of Smoke Shade Bro, I'm the actor in it. I'm just feeling it for director Prithviraj Kaladra. So the inspiration for this short is like, he already did so many short films, and he already DOP'd and he directed so many short films, and he got more awards as well. And all he wants is like, he wants to shoot a real quick and quirky thing that he wants to shoot in a day or two. That's when we got on board, and then that's how it happened.
Hey, hi. This is Prithvi, director of Blast and Concrete Woods. So the thought didn't come; it occurred. So it happened really one night to me. Some of the parts, we made it more cinematic. But I am kind of that person where I do multiple things and all. That night I was forced to be paused there, and when I went back safely to home, then I was thinking, okay, what can I take home from all of this? So one thing I had, or I think majority of people have this feeling I'll be happy or more happy once I get that, or I do something, or I achieve that, reach that goal. And in that rush or the chase, sometimes we forget to pause, forget to see the sky, forget to enjoy or cherish those moments, right? I thought this would kind of give that feeling. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Aniket Dhavre. I'm the director and editor of Nirmalya. So Nirmalya is my fifth short film. And before Nirmalya, I had directed some short films, 4 short films in India. And being from Maharashtra, India, my mother tongue is Marathi. But even then, the 4 short films that I directed, they were either in Hindi or Kannada. And Nirmalya is my first short film, which is in Marathi, that too made in USA. Regarding inspiration, the story is from Dr. Bhagyashree Barlinge, and it was one of the top 3 stories chosen from across USA. There were some 65 entries for North American Film Association's few productions, first year's few productions. I chose Nirmalya because it explores, it talks about the moral complexity, in taking that decision that the parents take. And I thought the theme of that story, I can present it on the screen, the grief, loss, and also acceptance of letting go of your loved one. So I wanted to explore that, and I hope you like the film. Thank you.
I am Chetal Sai, the director of Cowboys and Hindus. So the inspiration of this film really goes back a long way. So this is actually a short version of my feature script, but the project itself, I think it came about when I was looking at my Masis and Kakis and my mommies growing up, how we kind of live in this patriarchal society, and I always wondered what they would do with their lives if they got to break free from my uncles and follow their own dreams. And I don't know why, but I just feel like if they got to do something they wanted to do, and then I just felt the American Southwest and being the iconic American bravado and the American dream, and the American the cattle person. I just had this image in my head about an Indian woman becoming a cattle woman and being independent of everybody and making decisions. And I think the inspiration came really from watching a lot of my Masis growing up who were very smart, very intelligent, but they ended up working in hotels and grocery stores and always wondered what their lives would have been like if they ever got a chance. So that was the inspiration.
Hello, this is Rohit. Lost is my first short film, and the idea generated from maybe I was just thinking too much, and then what really happens if we just give in to the pressure, or sometimes everyone feels lots of loneliness and stuff. So that's when I started thinking about that, and then what if our inner being might miss the daily mundane things in general, not like any big events or something like that. And then that's how it started. And then I love music, so I just squeezed in a couple songs there. So yeah, that's how it started. Yeah.
I wanted to ask all the directors here and the actor here, being a director, I know it's kind of like you have to make a lot of important decisions, a lot of difficult decisions on set, and we would love to just get some sort of an anecdote in the process of making these films. I know there must be a lot of complexity while the production is happening, so if you can just share maybe what was one difficult decision that you had to take as the directors, and maybe Satish, you can tell maybe one memorable incident that happened while filming these projects, and just wanted to see, and it can be a creative decision or a logistical decision, but we just wanted to understand.
I'm a writer, so I think I made everybody difficult by writing till the very last day. So I think giving up, I think the antidote is you need to put the pen away eventually, right? And I think I was just being neurotic, even driving the production staff with changes in the script. So I think the biggest antidote is there has to be a time where you drop the pen and you move forward, and that was the biggest thing.
Great.
And I think for me, my film has like a 1.5 minute like staging sequence in the beginning. That was like the biggest question for me. Will people just turn it off, or will they just skip it to the next video? But I should thank like Ravi, our lead actor. Like I was like asking
Shout out for Ravi.
Yeah, shout out to Ravi. Like I was asking him right before, like, can you please practice for like at least 45 seconds? And then he's like, I'll take care of it, don't worry. And then on the day of the shoot, he just went on for like 1.5 minutes. And I thought I should say stop now, or else he'll just, continue doing it. So, but I think that came out well, and that was one of the decisions I was thinking, will it work or not?
Amazing.
So for me, Nirmala being a film about a medical issue, for us it was very important to show it as real as possible, authentic, make it authentic. And the biggest challenge that we had was finding a hospital room. We approached multiple hospitals. Some of the people from Austin, they helped us. There is like Dr. Mrudula Deshpande, Yashasri Moile. But none of the hospitals agreed to give us a hospital room. And without the hospital room, you can't shoot that scene. There won't be a film without that hospital room. So one fine day, I was just looking for studios in Austin or around Austin, and I just found out one photo studio. It had a lot of sets, like bunch of like jail room, then a room full of cash, and there was just one small room with old hospital bed. And our cinematographer is in California, so I was doing location scouting. I just called him, and he said, "Man, that room is really small, and how do we achieve it?" But creatively, that was one of the challenges. Instead of difficult decisions, it was the biggest challenge for us. The difficult decision was regarding the fairy tale. The fairy tale that we hear in the first montage. Our team, we were divided over it because some people thought, okay, it might be distracting. Some people thought it might offend people. But we, in the end, it came to me, and I had to go with my instinct because that fairy tale adds something to the story, right? Because it talks about a frog trying to become prince. There is certain metaphor there, and for the parents, if you talk about like our medical conditions, we try to achieve something by medical intervention, but is it possible, or is it successful all the times? So I thought that fairy tale actually represents current situation very well, in such rare cases. So I just went ahead with. So that was my difficult decision.
We had a certain tone to the film, like even through the pace we want to say some story. If you see from the beginning, it's like has very hyper quick cuts, and at a point it takes a total still, and then it goes slow. For that we were very ambitious, having like 175 shots or so. That was challenging while producing, but biggest challenge was more in the post production, because this is something which happened to me, and it will happen to many of others in other forms, right? But as a story, to make it believable, we had like a lot of things like supporting that, or like there are like we had like 30 odd minutes of cut where to make sure it is believable. I was very nervous today, like how would people receive it? Like any point of time, if they are like disconnected, they are disconnected. Like, he could have done this. Why was he waiting? So. But I would appreciate my editor Praveen. He was pushing me a lot.
Shout out to Praveen.
Yeah, he's also a filmmaker. So we tried making it as crisp as possible, also having that believability. So that was, we chopped off one very serious scene, which I took like 3 months, and he kicked me. Then finally we took it off. So yeah, great.
Yeah, for me as an actor, the challenging shot was in this short film. If you guys remember, I pick up thread and then I pick up a hammer. So actually it is funny, but it was very painful for me because I had labrum tear and then I had follicle around that day. So I did it with so many aspirins and so many dialogues.
Comedy comes from pain, I guess.
We did all these intense crying, shouting, argument scenes. I wanted to get them out of the door first because they were so intense while writing, and for the actors it might be a little tough. So, but it went so quick. They were ripping it. Two takes, 3 takes done, and I was like, wow, great, man. And then I put this wedding night and park, easier scenes at the end, like throughout the day. So till that day, everyone came on time, maybe before time. On that day, even my AD came late. I was like, hey, these guys are going to finish it, And then, that's where it started.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that went where we could not move on bed easily because my PD it was not actually a bed, they just attached a mattress to the head and tail. So they could not move, it was taking a lot of time. And then we had to run to finish the park scene at the end, and then somehow we ran, and then my AC forgot the lenses. I had like 1 hour to finish that scene, and I had 100. Because luckily it was attached to the camera. And I opened my favorite film called Kushi, interval scene, shot to shot, same with the 100. By the time I got my other lenses, we were almost done. So that was one. And the edit was another challenge because they were all its own independent pieces, right? Different part of their life. So each time I move a piece, it was becoming a different film. And then thanks to Sachin, he came with a solution. He was like, let's go backwards, let's go forwards, no problem. Okay. Like Memento, And then we sat and he was like, I was studying, I made a record breaking edit in 5 days. We cracked the edit in 5 days. So yeah, those two are the challenges.
Awesome. Great stories, great anecdotes. Now let's just take questions from the audience, please.
Since you shot in Austin, tell us something about the process of getting permissions. A lot of you have a lot of outdoor shooting which happened, roads, restaurants, streets. I know you did a little more controlled shooting, and maybe the gas station was a little more controlled, but there's been a lot of running around on the streets, and when we were watching as a programming team too, I was like, did they have to take permission for all of this, or did they just go guerrilla and shoot at night or when nobody was looking? Tell us something about that.
It's a safe space.
I'll go with that. So it depends on the project. But when I made a music video in Dallas, we went like guerrilla, like she said. We take permissions then and there. But to be honest, we have to take permissions. I recommend to take permissions. So that music video went well, surprisingly, and we were happy. But for Fragments, we had this shoot in Dart, the train, right? My PD was, I asked my PD, my producer to take permissions a couple of times, and he said it's getting tough to reach them, and he's like, and my DP, the great DP, he's problem solver for everything. So Prithvi, he's like, I already shot in Dart without permission, let's just go. Then I was, for some reason I thought, we are putting so much money in it. It's a huge project. We are bringing people from different actors from different states. I was like, Dart in their website had this small line called, please reach out if you want to shoot, we give you permissions. I really reached out to them. I had an email. They gave me permission to, an email permission, just a day or a couple of days. They were hesitant, you can't shoot in this station, you can't shoot in this station. But I did all the requests, but they were generous to give me permission. And we went to the Dart station, and within 12 minutes, they asked me, where is your permission? I had it in my hand, otherwise we are... Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, for us it's a controlled shooting, as you mentioned. It's just a gas station. We had a 3-night shoot, and we had to do only after the closing hours. So from all-nighters, like we did 3 nights and we just paid them. And then, do you have anything? Yeah, it's all gas station, so we don't have anything to take.
So we had that fire set up inside a home. So there were a couple of instances, I could say, if it helps out. So what we did was it happened actually there. Like I was going and staying at the friend's home there. I was waiting if he would come because I don't know I don't have the phone and I couldn't go to the home where I was tenant. So I know that guy later when I was shooting the film. So I asked him, he asked permission for the whole row of because we are putting out fire. If I have to go officially, there should be an ambulance, there should be a lot of stuff involved, which couldn't go with an indie film. So what we did was we took that fire extinguishers and took permission for that whole row and in front of the row. That was one thing, and there was a funny incident. Like it went out in the cut. Thanks, Praveen. We had a shot near a dock. Everything was set. It was like at that golden hour. We were trying to capture everything. The actor was like emoting, he's crying and all, and then there was like big ship which came in. We don't know what to do. Again, we rescheduled, and so. Basically, shipyards and the docks and all, they don't need permission, but this happens. Couple of other things on road, we try to make it little late night and somewhere little less traffic or like inside a communities or so. That way we try to make it possible.
So for us, most of the shoot happens in house or hospital room, controlled area. There was only one scene where we needed to take permission, where they are about to have an accident with other car, and we had applied for permission, our production management team, but it never arrived on time. And then our crew, most of the cast and crew was actually from across USA. Actors are from New Jersey, Florida. Cinematographer is from California, producers are from different parts of country, and we had only 4 days to shoot, and there was no chance of re-shooting. So we had to plan everything to the perfect. So now this scene, it's one of the important scenes in the film. Without the permissions, what do we do? So we scouted for certain locations where there will be little to no traffic. Be it residential area or something, and show it in a way so that it looks like there is an accident about to happen. But funny thing that happened that day, the actors were sitting in front, Saurabh, he plays role of Ahmed. He was driving my car, and I was sitting behind him, cinematographer in middle, and then the sound technician, who is also producer of the film, one of the co-producers, Rajesh. He was towards right. First take, we sat there. Some of the production management team members like Sachin, Rahul, all of those people, they were actually standing towards the crossroad from where the other car was coming, and that was also one of the crew members' car. We had like certain clues to give, like whenever we started, and so the first take, Saurabh starts the car, we roll, and the car is going slowly. It picks up speed, and we also gave a cue to other car, and it just comes. The Ford Mustang right in front of us, and I was like, I'm just holding my seat tight and thinking, okay, when are you going to apply brakes, Saurabh? Luckily, we did not cut that time, and that was our first take and best take.
Maybe something similar, but the initial idea for Lost was like to do it in my apartment, just like inside the apartment. But again, I added a HEV scene and then the car scene. Santosh, who handled camera, basically was adventurous, and then we were in one car and then Ravi was driving another car. Ravi being Ravi, he was speeding obviously, and then obviously cops came in and stopped him. And then we in the other car decided that we don't know Ravi, we don't know what's happening, so we'll just drive by, we'll not stop. But luckily, these cops just warned him, and then we were all okay. And for HEB, we didn't take any permissions. We just went at 1 a.m. No one was there. Just got the shot done and then came back. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, for Cowboys, I think we were pretty confined. So a lot of it was shot. Some of it was shot in our apartment, our house, and then we got a permission from Cedar Park Mandir to shoot outside there. I think the biggest challenge for us was getting a ranch. And Priya Deva and her husband Greg had friends that were able to let us use their ranch in Blanco, and they were gracious enough to let us be there. So that was the biggest challenge, but ours was pretty much contained.
Okay, great. But please take permissions. or at least believe you took one.
First of all, great films. I love watching these types of stories. I love festivals. Thank you, Indiamine, for showcasing these. These are really important stories to get told. When you're writing a script, choosing the language is very important. In one, we have one that's half Telugu, half English. A lot of them are Telugu, one's Marathi. One doesn't have dialogue at all, and one is purely in English. How do you guys decide what language, what mix of them in order to make the script that you want to take?
For me, it's a no-brainer. I wanted to make films in Telugu, and I'll continue to make films in Telugu. Last year when Satvik played his film, which on audience choice would not taken, he said, he asked Alka, are there Telugu films? She said only one got submitted, and previous 2 years none. Today we have 4 Telugu films.
Yeah, for us, as I mentioned, Prithvi already directed like so many English short films, and he was he was already preparing feature film as well. And when he narrated me the story, all he said was like, we want to enjoy the shoot. We want to done it like a day or two. We want to do it like a really quirky, dark comedy thing. So that's why his native language is Telugu and my native language is Telugu. So we thought like it will be better if we do it in Telugu. That way we will be more comfortable and enjoyable in the shoot. So that's why we did Telugu.
Yeah. So I believe like where the story is happening, I mean in Lost in Concrete Woods, whenever he's speaking with the mugger, he's speaking in English, or whenever it is making sense, he's speaking the English, but whenever, I mean, he's talking to himself or with the idol, he's speaking what he speaks naturally. So I believe like what he does naturally should be there. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, so for me, I always wanted to make a Marathi short film because my mother tongue is Marathi. So before Nirmalya, I did not get a chance to make that because I was in Bangalore, and a lot of the cast and crew members, they were from South India or North India. Believe me, I did not have any Marathi person to act in the film. So I even made a Kannada short film, and that short film we wrote a screenplay in English, and it was part of 24/7 filmmaking competition. And we had very little time to come up with a story and screenplay. So we wrote the dialogues in English, and the two actors, my friends, they were acting. It didn't feel natural at all. Now for me, to change dialogues, there were only two options. Okay, make them little easy to act because we are kind of in a hurry, or completely change the language. And that was easy for me to decide to go with Kannada because those two friends, they were Kannadikas. Their mother tongue was Kannada. So we changed. I don't know anything about Kannada, just swalpa. But yeah, I had help of my friends, and I decided, okay, I'll go with Kannada. So yeah, certain choices you can make on the set or pre-production. Yeah, thank you.
For me, it was a deliberate choice not to put any dialogue, and also the reason why he's done what he's done, and that is the reason initially I wanted to go with no sound too. But my team was like, don't go too wild and stuff. So that's why I put in some music in there. But songs, I'm a big lover of South Indian songs, so had to put some Telugu songs in there. Yes. But yeah, that was the choice, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, usually I just do English. But if it's something specific that's very intimate or needs to get a point, then I would use Gujarati. So for instance, when the mother yells at the son, deliberately that I wanted a Gujarati. But I usually use English, but if it's something specific to our language, then I would use our language.
We want to thank Indie Meme for giving space to Nexus filmmakers to be able to showcase their incredible talent. And thank you all for being such a wonderful audience.